Bernd Lange is the chair of the European Parliament's International Trade Committee. He posted pictures with the U.S. Trade Representative, Jameson Greer, on social media just today. He says they explored several ways to try to ease trade tensions, and Bernd Lange joins me now. Thanks so much for joining.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
So you hear the White House spokesperson saying there that, nope, negotiations are going forward just fine. Is that true?
Of course, we are in negotiations, and it's also important to have negotiations because we want to have a solution for this trade war. It's really a reason for unstable and unsecurity situation. Investment is stopped. So a solution is necessary, and therefore negotiations are going on.
How do you negotiate when you don't know what actual tariffs the U.S. president will be able to impose, because it's still working its way through the courts here?
I guess on the baseline, so-called baseline tariffs, we would like to keep them out because we are not convinced that they are legally and in the context of your constitution. So we have some other problems as well. The 232 tariffs on steel, aluminum, on cars, and there are 8 investigations going on, and I guess we are focusing mainly on them. And of course they are a little bit different because there are some investigation going on and facts and figures, and we can discuss to reach some compromise regarding the goals of the government. On this so-called baseline tariffs, I have a totally different view, and the European Union has a totally different view than the United States government.
It sounds like you're betting that those baseline tariffs will not survive the U.S. legal system to some degree.
I'm not bad, but I had a lot of talks with law experts here in the United States, also to some members of Congress and the Senate. And I guess they are now more keen to take the power which is foreseen in the Constitution.
Understood. Okay. You say the EU is proposing to work together with the U.S. to place tariffs on China, specifically Chinese steel. Do you believe that that might be a path to cooperation with the U.S. and therefore a deal on U.S.-EU trade?
Of course, we have the two sides of the coin. There is a clear wish from the U.S. side to work together in several items related to China. The overcapacity in steel is one element, but also economic security is one other element. But of course, it's not so easy to work together if you have pressure on the other side of the coin. So there is a dependency, that's for sure. So let's try to avoid the trade war issue, and then of course it might be much easier to work together in this global complex problematic situation.
Are European businesses seeing, and economies, frankly, seeing the economic costs of this trade war already? Do you expect that to be more reflected in GDP figures, et cetera, job figures?
That's indeed the case. So we expect about 0.5% of missing in the GDP, and also you know that we are really fighting for sustainable growth inside the European Union. But nevertheless, also some figures regarding the consequences in the United States. So it is not really in the for the benefit of both sides of the Atlantic. So let's have a negotiation and find a solution and stop this senseless trade war.
I wonder, as you leave Washington after this most recent trip, are you more optimistic than recent visits about coming to an agreement?
The positive element is that negotiations are going on. For a long time, weeks and weeks, we have some talks, but it was not totally clear what the United States wants to achieve. Now we got an email from the United States, and we made an offer on our side, and now negotiations can start. That's a positive element. I'm not sure that at the end of the day we will find a solution, but for us it's really important, if there is a deal, that this is the final deal. We want to avoid that in some weeks we have the surprise in the morning that some other terrorists are said. No, we want to have a deal which is really the final deal and gives stability to our economy and to the people on the ground. And let's see what's possible until the 9th of July.
Would you trust a deal that you make with this administration?
Of course, we have to trust that's an elected government. And on the other side, to be, let's say, have a safeguard in the back, we want to negotiation wherever it's possible, but of course, retaliation if necessary. And if there is a broken promises, then of course we will set also tariffs on US products. And we are preparing a second list. We have prepared a first list, and we are ready to introduce this if necessary. This is not our first choice, but we have it in our hand.
Bernd Lange, thanks so much for joining. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.